Afternoon, gentlemen. So, I thought I'm going to start doing these, makes it much more easier than screen recording and all of this jargon on the bloody computer, right? Going to start recording just from my phone and doing the content that way. Probably much easier, right? So, main topic today, high risk offshore banking accounts, okay? Or onshore, doesn't make a difference. High risk banking, right, is the topic. So many people seem to think, firstly, they don't have the knowledge that when they get a, let's say for example, a iGaming license, right, over in Curacao, they just assume they can walk into HSBC or open up a Revolut account. That's not the case. That's not the case at all. So what actually happens is you need to go through an EMI, typically speaking. You can go for a traditional bank, but it has to be overseas and it's going to take time. The fastest way, the cheapest way, the easiest way, and the best way for me as well, because I get 50% commission on our fees. Again, these fees, if you're super high risk, if you're, for example, an arms broker, unless you're doing 16 billion a year, if you're just doing like 3 to 10 million a month, you're going to be paying 1.25% until you can provide sufficient revenue for us to survive on 0.2%. So that's how the business works in banking, right? So Forward Point Solutions has a great partner. Again, so Forward Point Solutions is owned by FPS Financial Group. And FPS Financial Group also owns Fins Payments, which I founded about a year and a half ago today, actually, around this time of the year. And what we do, we are essentially a facilitator of payments. So we have great banking connections. There are 54 banking connections, typically with corresponding banks of JP, Barclays, Tier 1, Clearbank, for example, Tier 1 again. So all of these EMIs, your funds are still actually held in JP. And as soon as you're doing more than 35 or 60 million a year, we can actually negotiate to see if you want to move your account to Barclays or JP or Lloyd's, for example, right? Or RBS, whatever it all is, okay? You can actually move it over to their premier corporate accounts, because the EMI can then essentially refer you out to the actual bank as an individual client, then you can have your own private bank manager. So that's something to note in offshore banking, right? And banking with these, because essentially it's all high risk because of the jurisdictions. So even BVI with a simple e-commerce business selling t-shirts is a high risk business because it's based in the BVI. It goes on the industry, the residents or the citizenship, usually the residents in most cases. Obviously, it can't be in sanctioned places, so the Russians listening to this obviously move over to Dubai, get some papers there, and ta-da, you can now open, essentially, a British bank account. So that's that stage. That's the compliance, what kind of goes on. Compliance is quite in-depth for banking. We're going to obviously be asking payment inflows, payment outflows, blah, 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 blah. We need to know, basically, the banks, the corresponding banks and the EMIs, they have to understand where is the money coming from? Who are the people and the businesses paying into this account? Is it B2B? Is it C2B? Is it B2C? And where's the money going to? What countries are we sending it to, and what's the reason? Once you tell them all this information before, their payments then don't get stopped. The issue is nowadays is lots of EMIs, for example, I don't want to name them, right? Don't want to name them. Lots of them can onboard you quickly, but then every time you launch 160k in there, it blocks the payment. Or you launch 22 million, they block it, and they start, it takes 2 days. And that slowdown in business is just not worth it, right? So that's why banking is so important to businesses, is because you can't operate without banking. So it's a great business on my side because there's unlimited clients, right? There's a lot of clients out there. The team's been rapidly expanding at Forward Point Solutions. A new hire starting on Monday, actually. Need to do my to-do list for him. And also work with a team to get his, all of his stuff sorted and his training started. So what's important with banking is it doesn't really matter. We can get the account, right? As long as your compliance checks out. And obviously you're not a terrorist, you're not terrorist financing, and you're not money laundering. As long as we can clearly see that, we explain it to a bank in a specific way, right? And in this specific manner, the bank opens the account and doesn't ask those questions later unless it is flagged because you're doing something stupid. That's the only reason, right? So you see these people complaining, saying, oh, you know, I mean, to be fair, my personal revenue account was closed yesterday because I put 2K into it via crypto. Meaning I brought 2K of crypto and sent it, and my entire account got closed and put my balance to £100. But they still managed to take my £55 monthly fee and my £10 Spotify subscription. So it doesn't make any sense. Obviously, it's now been unlocked because I was just sending 2K to a friend. So that's the main thing with banking. They cannot get closed and they can't be asked for payment. So that's why these EMIs do work better. The next question is, do you need more than one account? Typically, not really, but it's nice to have multiple. Not multiple EMIs, one traditional bank, one EMI. If your business is doing maybe 200 million a month, then maybe you have 5 banks, right? And you split up the actual revenue between them. So that's how that would work. But just for a single business doing maybe like 2-3 million a month, you generally have 1 or 2, but you obviously always have 2 because of backup in case one does ever get closed. You've obviously planned for that day, right? So that's an important note there. Number 3, jurisdictions. Again, you want to stay, depends. Banking for a trust, obviously, even having a bank in Nevis or Cook Islands is basically ideal because it's extremely offshore and it links in with the substance over there, right? For the local trustee and all of the management and all of this, it kind of works. However, for the operational companies, it kind of BMIs because they're so fast. Having that Luxembourg, SEPA, London, SEPA, BACS, whatever, faster payments is unreal, amazing. Because of a London account, I can on-ramp in crypto in 5 minutes up to a quarter million a day. That's just myself. That's not even corporate. Corporate, you can do absolutely hundreds of millions a day. So we also have those solutions as well, which is a different topic and different videos to actually go into of on-ramping crypto. Probably going to actually film one of them right now. It's probably a great idea. So I'm going to go do that one. And I guess I'll see you on YouTube next time, if you like me. If not, then I'll piss off. So that's essentially what's going on there with banking. Very easy. We can help you. will.hodgson@4pointsolutions.com or info@finspayments or sales@ or payments@ or compliance@finspayments.com, FINZ payments.com. Check out the both websites, whatever, but that's what's very important there. Yes, it is tricky to get the offshore accounts with us. No, it's not. And guess what? We even get paid for it. So typically there's no onboarding fees unless it's a stupidly high risk account. Obviously there will be onboarding fees. And if there ever is onboarding fees, typically speaking, not all the time, but 85% of the time, they are refundable if we cannot open the account. So we generally get the accounts open as well. Right then, speak soon. See you later.